Okay, thank you everyone for attending. It looks like we're going to have a full house. My name is Sean Bragdon. I'm one of the managing partners here at BGA Insurance. Today we're going to be talking about how to sell life insurance from home. And hopefully everyone can see the BGA homepage. BGAinsurance.com is the website. And I'm going to show you a couple of tools that are available on our website. If you have any questions, just use the chat box. Ryan Chester is online with me. He's one of our top brokerage directors, and he'll be monitoring that chat box and slowing me down if I'm going too fast. So we'll go ahead and get started on this. And of course, if you have any questions after the webinar, just give us a call. You know, the main number is 949-955-0255, and ask for a brokerage director if you don't already have one, and we can walk you through this. So again, you want to go to our website. That's bgainsurance.com. And one of the most productive areas of this website is under broker resources. A lot of people are just using this website to do quoting on term insurance, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. When you first open this up, if you haven't been on our website, when you click on quoting, you're going to have to register for iPipeline. That's the quoting engine we have on our website. It is instantaneous. You're going to register. You're going to get an email with a username. You're going to create your own password, and then you're good to go. Once you've done that, you can always log in, and we just have a field where you can plug in your prospect. So I'm just going to do a sample case on a female age 45. If you know the date of birth, plug it in. Some carriers go age last birthday, some go age nearest within 6 months. So always plug in the date of birth if you know it. The system is defaulted on term insurance, and the most commonly quoted term insurance is we usually do a 10, 15, and 20-year term. And what's that? The middle? The middle, there you go. Okay. So I'm selecting a 10, 15, and 20-year term. Let's just go for 500,000 of coverage. Got one too many zeros there. If you wanted to quote multiple face amounts, you could plug in multiple face amounts here. Life insurance more or less is linear. If you want twice as much, double the premium. Down here at the bottom, you can actually plug in details of your client's medical background. You can plug in their height and weight. You can go through a series of questions about medications, blood pressure, and cholesterol. Typically, you're going to ask those questions ahead of time and maybe have an idea of what underwriting class you're going to select. For this example, I'm just going to select preferred non-smoker.
Hey, Sean, real quick, before you get to the next page, I know there's a lot of people that just joined the presentation and they're probably wondering where you are at and how you got there.
Sure.
Can you just click that top, the tab at the top of your screen that's on the BGA website? For those of you who just joined us, Sean's running a term quote, which is the beginning portion of this presentation on how to sell life insurance at home. And all he did was hover over this broker resources tab at the top, and then he clicked on quoting. Sean, can you hover over that broker resources
Sure,
again, please?
broker resources, and then we're going to go to quoting.
And one thing to mention, at the top of the screen, you'll notice it says carrier login or register. That doesn't go anywhere, so don't worry about clicking on either of those two hyperlinks, and don't worry about a login there. So just want to clarify for those of you that are jumping on slightly late. Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
No, thanks, Ryan. And if you haven't been on our website, as I mentioned earlier, when you click on quoting, it's going to require you to register for iPipeline. Again, that's instantaneous. They'll send you an email with a username, and then you can add your password. So once you've logged in and registered on iPipeline, you're going to see this page right here. Allows you to plug in your prospect or client's information. So I have Jenny Sample here. She's 45 years old. I'm looking for a 10, 15, and 20-year term for $500,000 of death benefit, and I have a preferred non-smoking underwriting class. Just click on Get Quotes here at the bottom. And what you'll see is you're going to have a whole list of carriers from top to bottom. Right now, we have Protective is #1 for a 10-year term. Transamerica is #2. If we went to a 15-year term, we have Protective, Banner, and Principal. And in a 20-year term, we have Protective, Banner, AIG. Something to be aware of is not all term products are created equally. And if you ever think your client is possibly going to do a term conversion, you can click on right here and the product will tell you what the conversion rules are. Principal actually has some of the best conversion options out there. You're allowed to convert to any product they have available. Not for the full term period. There are very few term products that actually allow you to convert for the full term period anymore. So if you went with a 20-year term with Principal, you can actually convert for the first 15 years to any product. Also, Principal has a free chronic illness rider. So if you convert to one of their permanent products, you can get a free chronic illness rider without any underwriting. Banner is also, low price in term, but their conversion rules are not so attractive because they have one very expensive product to convert into. So that is something to be aware of when you're looking at a product. It's not just all about price. If you look at AIG, you'll see that you can convert to any product for the first 8 years on their term product. After that, you get a very expensive whole life product to convert into. If you want to do just send your client or prospect a quote, I would often, click the top 3 on a term spread like this. So I'm going 10, 15, and 20-year term. And then you would click on download up here and show a list report. And now you have 9 different term quotes all on one page. You can just email that to your client. You might, again, steer your client to a product if that has good conversion features if you think that might be an option. What you see over here next to all these term quotes is this blue button, apply. And that blue button, apply, is going to allow you to either do a drop ticket or a paper form in this example. With Banner, you have a drop ticket or paper form. Principal, you have an e-application or a drop ticket. So let's explain the difference between an e-application and a drop ticket. So an e-application is the exact same information that you would get if you printed out a paper application. You need to complete every single question on that e-application before it gets submitted. So if you do not know the social security number of the contingent beneficiary, it will not let you move forward. You do have the ability, of course, of saving what you've inputted and coming back to it. The advantage of an e-application is the fact that you can get all the signatures done electronically. You can even have the policies delivered electronically. But what we're encouraging a lot of our agents to do is to use this drop ticket. And if I click on this drop ticket, you're going to see that you only need to complete a very minimal amount of information to start the underwriting process on a term policy. So we have our Jenny sample here. I'm going to go down here at the bottom and I'm going to select this iGo e-application. And it's going to require you just to complete everything that's in yellow. And, does the client have existing insurance? I'm going to say no. They're going to want to put the client's date of birth in here. And I'll just plug one in here. We're going to plug in the address. And what I'm trying to show you is literally you can do this in about 5 or 6 minutes, that you can start the underwriting process.
Hey, Sean, while you're printing that out, let's be very clear. Not only does this take, say, 3 to 6 minutes, depending on how fast you can type, but the agent isn't the one that always needs to do this. Oftentimes, the agencies that work with us, an assistant in the office is the one who's doing this data entry. So um, the
And the other thing that's really attractive with the best term carriers out there, and that's actually most carriers now have an option to get accelerated underwriting. And this is a huge victory in our industry. Most of the accelerated underwriting platforms allow you to get up to $1 million of coverage up to age 60, and your client has a chance of not doing an insurance exam and no medical records. What they're doing is they will do a phone history interview with your client, or your client is going to be answering medical questions online via an email link, and the insurance carrier is going to make a decision. After they do they're going to do a prescription database check. They're going to check your motor vehicle record. They're going to check the MIB, and that and the medical questions you've answered, they're going to decide if you're going to be required to do an insurance exam or not. I would say in general, you're going to have about a 50% chance of not having to do an insurance exam. If you got a 58-year-old insured that's on medication for blood pressure and cholesterol and diabetes, that guy is going to be required to do an insurance exam. But you have a 45-year-old person that's not on any medications, no medical history, good shot that person doesn't have to do an insurance exam. So I'm just going to plug in the last tidbits of information we need on this one.
Hey, Sean, are you able to zoom in on your screen at all and make that text slightly larger? Is that?
I'm not sure if I can do that.
Okay, no problem.
And what you'll see is over here on the left, if it's a green check mark, that means you're ready to submit. I've clearly missed something over here, which is why it's giving me a question mark. And it's
relationship.
So we're going to say, let's see, where is spouse? There we go. So now we should be good to go. And I have all the check marks green. I'm going to click on next. And you're going to be able to submit this. You can also upload an illustration if you have one. You're going to click on agree and submit. You can also save this and come back to it later if you didn't get all that information. But that's it. I mean, literally, you can do this within 5 to 6 minutes, completely do that. And it looks like I was able to increase the size of this thing. So if we go back to our quoting system, I wanted to show you some other tools that are available there. And another thing that's pretty compelling is you can do benchmarking on permanent products. Here is let's just do a quote for a guaranteed UL. Let's say we have a 60-year-old male on this one. We'll keep it at preferred, 500,000. So I'm just going to have it guaranteed age 121. And again, we have a listing of carriers. If we click on American National, which is #1 in this example, they do not have a drop ticket. It's just paper forms. So, depending on the situation you have with your client, maybe you'll go with the Nationwide. They have an e-application and paper forms. Or you could go to Pac Life. They can do a drop ticket with their guaranteed UL. So you have choices here. Again, it's the same process. The drop ticket, you're just providing minimal information on your client: address, phone number, email address, best time to reach them, maybe plugging in the beneficiary, asking if they're a non-smoker or non-smoker, and that's typically it. There are a lot more term products available in a drop ticket than there are permanent products, but the industry is getting better. I think in the not too distant future, virtually all the insurance products out there will give you the ability of doing these drop tickets.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean, real quick, when you choose a drop ticket and you're only providing limited information and the carrier's doing all the work, do they limit product? Is the client getting an inferior product, or is there any commission reduction?
Great
to the
question.
agent?
Thanks, Ryan. Actually, you are getting the very best products in the industry. And so, I mean, your client can get preferred best rates on the lowest cost product in the industry, whether it's term insurance or permanent insurance, using these drop tickets. Typically, the turnaround time is going to be 2 weeks quicker by using this electronic application or drop ticket process, and there is no reduction in compensation. So there's really no reason not to implement or use this drop ticket procedure. And you can go on our website and practice this. You know, if you're getting ready to call a client or prospect, you might play around on here. You can go through the whole drop ticket process, just be comfortable with it. Each carrier's is slightly different, but again, no reduction in compensation. Turnaround time is underwriting is dramatically faster. And you can tell your client, you know, if you're 60 and younger, it's $1 million or less, you got about a 50% chance of not having to do an insurance exam. There are a handful of carriers that actually will go up to $2, even $3 million. And you have the ability of not having to do an insurance exam. Additional quoting abilities here. If we wanted to benchmark, let's say, a protection IUL product, you have that option here as well. We'll go to the same 500,000. I'll assume preferred, and we can get quotes. So John Hancock appears to be #1 in this example. Looks like you're saving about 20% in premium compared to the guaranteed UL. If we go to our actions here, it's going to give us the option of an e-application, or we can get forms. We do not have the option of doing a drop ticket with John Hancock on this, but an e-application does work. Another thing that works with most carriers in the industry, if you're using DocuSign at all, a lot of these carriers will allow you to use DocuSign to get the signatures that you need.
Hey, Sean, we got a question, and I'll address this real quick. Martique asked about the process on a drop ticket, sort of who does what. Martique, to be clear, the agent is going to put in that basic information you saw Sean enter on that principal case. And then the next step is the insurance carrier will call the client to ask the other questions that you didn't have to deal with, which are primarily the medical questions. So no, BGA does not reach out to your client. We do not ask any of those questions. It's all going to be done through the carrier and their employees.
Great question. The other thing to be aware of is almost every single carrier that offers these accelerated underwriting, e-applications, and drop tickets, you do not need to be appointed with that insurance carrier prior to submitting it. When you submit that drop ticket or e-application, our case managers at BGA Insurance will be notified. They will look you up and see, oh, is he appointed with Principal or Protective or whoever you're doing the drop ticket with? If you're not, we're going to send you an email link, and we also have our licensing package through SureLc that is also electronic. You're going to complete that licensing package one time. It's going to be in the cloud, and then as long as we have that on file, we can easily get you a code number with all our carriers. So we'll be notified the moment you have done a drop ticket. What you might want to do is, especially on your first one, is you're going to want to send us a copy of that drop ticket, because if there's ever going to be a mistake on a drop ticket, it's going to be the first case, probably due to the fact you might not be licensed with that carrier. So just give us a heads up, shoot us an email, or give us a call and tell us, hey, I just did my first drop ticket. There are other, once you've done a drop ticket or an e-application and maybe you haven't completed it completely, you can go back to broker resources. You can click on online applications and you can view my cases. And you'll see this is Jenny's sample. That's the principal drop ticket I did earlier. Some of these carriers, when you do a drop ticket, nothing will happen until your client responds to an email that's generated. Lincoln is one of the carriers that does that. So your client is going to receive an email with a link that they need to click that allows them to sign the Lincoln term application. And until that's done, nothing happens. And what you'll see is sometimes the clients didn't get the email. Maybe it went into their junk. Well, you can give them a heads up and you can come back here and open up the case and you can potentially resend that drop ticket so that email is generated to your client. Also, if you're getting permanent insurance quotes from us, many of these carriers, again, allow for e-applications. Maybe we've sent you a permanent insurance illustration and you want to do an e-application, you can just go into this section and you can find the product and initiate the e-application. So I'm going to say, hey, I'm looking to sell an index universal life product, and you can find available products. And this is going to give you a breakdown of all the index UL products that are available in this platform. Keep in mind, some of these products are going to be listed under universal life instead of index universal life. So you'll look at both, and we also have whole life products listed as well. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of these carriers have the drop ticket version available on the term, not as many on the permanent. Lincoln is one that does the drop ticket on a permanent insurance. So if I wanted to go with this Wealth Accumulate Index UL, I could select right here. And again, you're going to have minimal information that you need to complete on this drop ticket. So in this example, the guy's name, social security number, address, email, driver's license number, phone number, the face amount, underwriting class selected, and then you're going to have your agent information, and you're going to click submit. I mean, it's that easy. So we have quite a few agents that are, just focusing on carriers that offer these accelerated underwriting and drop ticket options. The other thing I just wanted to share with you briefly is there's, in my opinion, you really shouldn't be quoting 30-year term that much. I've been in this business 30 years, and I rarely ever see anyone that has actually kept a 30-year term product for 30 years. People's situations changes over time, and often you're going to just save them money by going with a 10, 15, or 20-year term, because they're going to modify that term policy, maybe convert it or buy additional coverage versus just holding that on. And here's an example of a case. This was a male 45 preferred non-smoker. The lowest cost 30-year term was $2,143 a year for $1 million of coverage. That happened to be a Banner term product. A better decision, in my opinion, would have been to go with a 20-year term. And in this example, we went with a 20-year term with Mutual of Omaha, client saving money. And if the client is ever going to convert, this shows you the difference in the conversion product. So if this Banner product, we converted in 5 years, $500,000, our premium was $8,231. With the Mutual of Omaha product, if you converted in 5 years, your premium's $4,330. So about half the cost on a conversion. And this product also has a free chronic illness rider, so your client could get hurt or sick while they have that term policy. They convert it, and they could then go on claim. The best decision over here in green, where we did what I call a combination plan. Instead of buying $1 million of 30-year term for $2,143, you bought 2 policies. You bought a permanent index UL with a chronic illness rider at $250,000 and a 20-year term at $750,000. Your total outlay is $2,845. So you're spending about $700 more per year, but now you actually have a permanent life insurance product. I think that's just a better option versus going with a 30-year term.
Hey, Sean, real quick, Martique's asking, why not do a 30-year term with principal and add the extended conversion rider? Can you comment on that, please?
Yes, I'm a big fan of adding that extension, that conversion extension rider. The carriers that offer that would include Principal. Securian also has that feature. And if you add that rider, it usually adds about another 3% in cost on your premium, but it allows you to convert to any product throughout that full term period. So that's certainly a big victory. Most of the carriers, you can convert, the earlier of age 70 or that term period in that example. The only carrier, there's 2 carriers that I believe that'll allow you to convert up to age 75. That would be Mutual of Omaha and North American. Let's see here. The other, and that's pretty much what I wanted to go over with. We do have some cheat sheets that we can share with you. It is a somewhat fluid market on the changes in accelerated underwriting and the products that are available. We have a great accelerated underwriting cheat sheet that I have on the screen right here. If you'd like to get this, give us a call to contact your brokerage director. But what you're seeing is, there are some carriers that'll go up to $3 million with accelerated underwriting. You have Allianz, Equitable's at $2 million, John Hancock's at $3 million, Mutual of Omaha's up to $2 million, Nationwide's up to $2 million now. So a lot of increases. Most of them, again, are the maximum age is up to age 60. A few go up a little bit higher. Here's, National Life will go up to age 65, up to $250,000. So keep that in mind. And then on this next page is kind of the cheat sheet on the term conversions. What product allows you to convert to any product for a period of time versus what's very common in our industry is you can convert to a competitive product for maybe 7 years, and after that you get a very expensive product. And when I say expensive, we're talking about usually 40% to 100% more expensive than that same carrier's most competitively priced product. So if you ever think there's going to be a conversion, you got to pay attention to that. And then we went through a lot of information. We can send you this little 2-page document. It is a step-by-step instructions on how to complete this term application in 5 minutes. So it's going to give you a step-by-step process on what we just did. And as I mentioned earlier, practice this. Before you call your client, just go on our website, play around with it. You probably have a feel for what the client will likely be interested in. Just go to that specific carrier's drop ticket or e-application, get comfortable with it, and then go from there. Ryan, any other questions you're seeing out there?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. Good job, Sean.
All right. Well, again, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your business. And if you're having any problems on our website, just please do give us a call. And again, the website is bgainsurance.com. Thanks for your time.